channel subfield to 059 Yankee.
This is shuttle launch control at T-3 hours and holding. The countdown for launch of Space Shuttle Discovery's STS-119 mission is underway here at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Liftoff is scheduled for 7:43 p.m. Eastern Time from Launch Pad 39A. The launch window extends for about 5 minutes. This mission will deliver the S6 truss segment and the fourth of final large set of solar array wings. The arrays will provide 25% more power to the station and will fully power science experiments and support the station's crew expansion to 6 residents in May. There will be 3 spacewalks during this 13-day mission. Discovery also will take up the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency's first resident crew member, Koichi Wakata, and bring back NASA astronaut Sandy Magnus, who has been living on station since the STS-126 mission in November 2008. This is Commander Lee Archambault, U.S. Air Force Colonel, and he was the pilot on STS-117. Commander Archambault's hometown is Bellwood, Illinois. Pilot Tony Antonelli, this is his first space flight, born in Detroit, Michigan. He's logged over 3,200 hours in 41 different aircraft. Mission Specialist 1, Joe Akaba. This is his first space flight as well. He's a former middle and high school science teacher. He'll perform 2 spacewalks on STS-119. Mission Specialist Koichi Wakata, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut. He's had 2 space flights, STS-72 and STS-92. He was on the first flight that delivered the first segment of the truss. Mission Specialist 3, Ricky Arnold. This is his first space flight. He's a former middle and high school science teacher as well. His hometown is Bowie, Maryland. He'll perform 2 spacewalks on STS-119. Mission Specialist John Phillips. He's a veteran of 2 flights and 1 spacewalk. In 2005, as a member of Expedition 11, he provided the first ever congressional testimony from space. Mission Specialist Steve Swanson. He flew on STS-117. He has over 13 hours in 2 spacewalks, and he'll perform 2 spacewalks on STS-119. His hometown is Steamboat Springs, Colorado. The STS-119 crew is now walking out of the crew quarters, making their way to the elevator. Crew's now walking out of the operations and checkout building, where they'll enter the Astro van, which will carry them to the launch pad on launch pad 39A. We expect the crew to arrive at the launch pad white room in about 25 minutes. The Astro van is a modified 1980s RV that has bench seating and air conditioning hookups that hook into the orange launch and entry suits to keep the astronauts cool.
This camera is at the 195-foot level on the launch pad, and we see the crew members, and even though this picture is black and white, the crew members are in their launch and entry pressure suits. The closeout crew members are in white protective coveralls. And we see them going across now the orbiter access arm. There is a set order that the crew members will enter the space shuttle.
The astronauts, when they get into the shuttle, we have 4 astronauts sitting on the flight deck and 3 on the middeck.
That's correct. With a crew of 7, we have the commander and the pilot are sitting up front. As a matter of fact, here is a picture looking into the flight deck, and there's a bright spot there just because that's the sunshine. We have a very pretty sunny day here, and there is sun coming in through the windows of the orbiter. And here we see the commander climbing up, and he actually has to climb up into that seat. and kind of wiggle around till he gets in the right spot so that he can get strapped in for a secure launch experience for him.
Mission Specialist John Phillips shaking hands right before he enters Space Shuttle Discovery.
Go ahead. And DPS, can you come over to 212?
OTC DPS?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just got an altitude violation, BFS 08, which is BFS.
And just as the orbiter crew, the STS-119 space shuttle crew, has been working together and training together for the procedures that they'll execute on this mission, also this closeout crew, as we see, that's assisting them, they have trained together and worked together to make sure that not only do they help the crew members get in and strapped in and ready for their launch, but they're also very well trained in any type of emergency procedures that might be required. Again, we hope that we never have to use any of our emergency procedures, but it is very reassuring to know that they are well trained to help the astronauts get out of the orbiter if there is an emergency.
Now we see pilot Tony Antonelli.
That's correct. He will be the second crew member to crawl in on the flight deck, while John Phillips is still getting strapped in down on the middeck.
Give you 618 through 620.
Copy.
The camera view we see now is now from the right side of the orbiter looking back towards the left. So we're seeing pilot Tony Antonelli crawl up into his seat with assistance from Ken Ham. I see that we're back to the white room, and we see Mission Specialist Koichi Wakata getting prepared to enter Discovery.
Koichi Wakata is a JAXA astronaut. He'll actually be the first Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut that'll be a resident on the International Space Station.
That's correct, and I'm sure he's quite excited to get started on that journey. And this is a little different view, as we see that astronaut support personnel Ken Ham has repositioned the small camera that we have in the flight deck. It is now actually, if you will, up on the dashboard, looking back. So that would actually be looking down towards the ground or towards the base of the pad in this particular orientation. Towards the top of your view, what you're seeing is the left shoulder of pilot Tony Antonelli, and looking back down towards where Steve Swanson will be strapped in. A little bit out of view right now is Joe Akaba being strapped in. And it looks like we just got the mid-deck strapping camera view. And it's a little dark, as we mentioned. It's kind of dark in there, but we've got enough light to see what we need to on board. But we have the mission specialists that are flying on the mid-deck are strapped in.
OTC, OVCC.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. MS2 is aboard.
Copy. MS2 at 2103 GMT.
Houston, MS3, com check.
MS3, Houston, I read you loud and clear. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Loud and clear. Good afternoon, Zambo.
And MS3, Ricky Arnold has completed his comm checks, and we see the view from the flight deck that mission specialist Steve Swanson has climbed into his seat, and now they'll begin strapping him in.
MS5, I've got you loud and clear. How many?
I do. I've got you loud and clear. Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Koichi.
As you can see on screen, this is a shot of a launch viewing area here at Kennedy Space Center, where thousands of people come to view the launches.
11:15.
Some people waving.
Attention
on the net. This is the NTD conducting the launch status checks. All stations verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC?
OTC is go.
TBC?
TBC go.
PTC?
PTC is go.
LPS?
LPS is go.
Houston flight?
Houston flight is go.
Mila?
Mila's go.
STM? STM is go. Safety console?
Safety consoles go.
SPE?
SP is go.
LRD? LRD is go. SRO?
SRO is go. You have range clear to launch.
And CDR?
CDR is go.
Launch Director NTD?
Launch Director.
Launch team is ready to proceed.
Copy that, Steve. Thank you. I'll do my poll at this time. KC Chief Processing Engineer, verify no constraints to launch.
No constraints.
Thank you, Steve. KC Safety Mission Assurance.
KC Safety and Mission Assurance is go, Mike.
Very good, Mark. Payload Launch Manager.
Mike, we'll go to launch S6. Thank you.
Copy, Bill. Range weather.
Winds are 150, 14 peak 19. Weather has no constraints for launch.
Copy, Kathy. Thank you. And Ops Manager.
Launch Director, Ops Manager of 212. The MMT isn't tracking any issues. We look real good. You're go to launch.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Discovery Launch Director.
Launch Director, go ahead for Discovery.
Okay, Brew. Well, you had a little bit of a wait, but that'll just make the payoff that much sweeter. So on behalf of the KC launch and processing teams, good luck and Godspeed.
Thanks, Mike, and congratulations to you and the entire team for getting Discovery ready for a 36 mission. And, you know, it's truly an honor to be part of this team, representing all of NASA, our nation, and the international partners. Thanks for the work, Mike. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care, and let's go ahead and fire up the Zone of Freedom.
Copy that, Brew. Thank you very much. NTD, with that, you are clear to launch Discovery.
Copy, clear to launch. Thank you.
GLS is go for orbiter access arm retract.
Discovery, OTC, best wishes as you bring ISS to full power. Enjoy the ride tonight.
Discovery copies. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
T-minus 6 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
Start APU display recorders.
Recorder's running.
PLC, OTC, perform APU pre-start.
OTC, APU pre-starts inward.
GLS is go for orbiter APU start.
PLT, OTC, perform APU start.
APU starts inward.
CDR, OTC, reconfigure heaters.
That's inward as well.
PLT, clear caution warning memory. Verify no unexpected errors.
That's inward. OTC, caution warning clear, no unexpected errors.
Copy. And Discovery, close and lock your visors and initiate O2 flow.
That's inward.
GLS is go for ET LH2 pressurization. GLS is go for auto sequence start.
25.
And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions.
15.
12, 10,
GLS is go for main engine start.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And booster ignition and liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery, taking the space station to full power for full science.
This is Mission Control Houston.
Discovery roll program.
Roger roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Discovery flying 365 miles per hour. 1.5 miles in altitude, 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
3 main engines on board are throttling back up. Now 1 minute, 12 seconds into the flight, Discovery flying at 1,800 miles per hour, 10 miles in altitude, and 11.5 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. At liftoff, the fully fueled shuttle, boosters, and external tank weighed 4.5 million pounds. The total thrust at launch was 6,425,000 pounds. All systems continue to function well. 3 good main engines, 3 good power generating fuel cells, and 3 good auxiliary power units for the hydraulic system. We will now stand by for burnout and separation of the solid rocket boosters. Combined, the twin boosters provide 5.3 million pounds of thrust to propel the orbiter toward space. Discovery now flying 3,600 miles per hour, 32 miles in altitude, 43 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center.
Discovery, single engine ops 3.
Single engine ops 3.
Discovery could conduct a transatlantic abort landing on 1 engine should 2 fail at this point. Discovery flying at 9,000 miles per hour. Discovery's engines have been commanded to swivel to put the orbiter in the proper heads-up position.
Engine Zaragoza 104.
Single engine Zaragoza 104.
Discovery can reach Zaragoza on 1 engine should 2 fail at this point.
Discovery, press to MECO.
Press to MECO.
Discovery can reach the planned orbit on 2 engines. All 3 engines continue to operate well. Six minutes, 40 seconds into the flight, Discovery flying at 11,000 miles per hour, 66
Discovery,
miles in altitude.
Your shutdown plan is nominal. Go for the plus X, no go the pitch.
Discovery, nominal shutdown. Go for the plus X, no go for the pitch.
Discovery, single engine press 104, good readback.
Single engine press 104.
Discovery can reach its planned orbit on 1 engine should 2 fail. However, all 3 still performing well at 104%. Main engine cutoff is confirmed.
Discovery, Houston, nominal MECO, OHMS 1 not required.
Copy that, OHMS 1 is not required.
And external tank separation is confirmed. Now 8 minutes 57 seconds into the flight, Discovery in orbit, flying at 17,500 miles per hour.
We have some video taken today from cameras on board the International Space Station of the crew watching Discovery's launch while the International Space Station was orbiting over Tasmania. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, Flight Engineer Sandy Magnus with Mike Fink, commander of the Expedition 18 crew, in the center of the screen, and Flight Engineer 1, Yuri Lonchikov, floating along the top of the screen.
Houston, this is International Space Station, space to ground 1.
And go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, on behalf of the Expedition 18 crew on the beautiful International Space Station, we would like to really congratulate our shuttle team for a flawless, beautiful launch that we saw up here. It was amazing, and it didn't happen by magic. A lot of people worked really hard to get Discovery ready, and we waited for the right time, and boy, it was beautiful, and you could tell on board that we were very excited. Congratulations to the team, goes to Discovery.
Thank you, Mike. Copy all that, and it was a beautiful launch, although we're kind of wondering why Sandy wasn't a little more excited. We were just a little wondering about that.
You know, Sandy, when it comes down to here, she's very calm, cool, and collected. No, we're very excited.
And really glad you guys got to watch the launch. It certainly looked beautiful from here, and it looked beautiful watching you guys watching it from up there.
And special thanks to the BMEs for pulling that out at the last minute to be able to get us to watch. We were wondering there if we were just going to have to listen to the launch, but we were very happy to see it.
Yeah, thanks guys. That was really nice to be able to watch it. We really appreciate it.
And BME says you're very welcome. They were very happy to support.
Discovery Houston, you are go for orbit ops.
Hey, Zambo, Discovery copies. Go for orbit ops. Thank you.
You can see in this view inside the shuttle's cargo bay the robotic arm now powered down and in what's called the pre-cradle position, ready for tomorrow's activities. And beneath the robotic arm you can also see the S6 truss segment. That segment contains the final 2 solar arrays for the space station, which will allow it to generate another 21 to 30 kilowatts of usable power depending on the time of the year, and 15 of those kilowatts are to go toward powering scientific experiments on the station. That's double the amount of power for science, because until now the station's only been able to use 15 of the 63 to 90 kilowatts that the other 6 solar arrays have produced on power. That's how much it takes just to run all the equipment needed to sustain life on the station. Well, that equipment uses up the other 48 to 75 kilowatts. So the S6 truss with its 2 solar arrays will be installed on the first spacewalk of the mission, which will be on Thursday. That work will be performed by mission specialist Steve Swanson and Ricky Arnold, with a lot of robotic help from mission specialist John Phillips inside the station.